baranyin la domoro ka diaten
boy jannon CK's restaurant
e say nakko be ni na dimbal nimbe domoro kala janno
domoro seneyata adiyata topotoro fanan kendema bije luntan during tamala abeka domoro ki janni adi manda wala de teka we bijele anim fanan ka fadi jang ikono e fa e ka fa minne ko pastry anim bakery iko fanan be kalele badde lomba conference lomba workshop lomba ye fo fendin lon dunia kono domoro betama nyillom international otoda number 1
amanke ba domo la jandama
e sa domo jang is atariya
wo mu kubandi
sa nakko sa futandin
e oto sa nakko be mu CK's restaurant
ndafa na janna mu yat ni manje dorom bijam
aban
CK's restaurant, known for best quality food and customer satisfaction.
diwli lanni maro lanni
fop lanni
awa joni mi anda honno gerde ten e ngal do sabu e ngal do Ibrahima jonnal taw joni mi anda se yahay kapitiki nyawlo den ha humpondire makko est ce que non e warude
waden no awa
ane ko Ibrahima ma ko to woni
mo Amerique
ko America woni kare humpitaki fi be musibe men baluwo be andanda kala ko wawda wonde aduna si arrivi e juude mabbe a jonnay do dépassement Gambia har no weebi ayata kadi taw ko mbudi din no jawi walla no jippi be halantama ko kala ko falda ko reise sengo nyamete ili nebba maro basal pomme de terre kala ko rewi don a hendo to har no weebi kadi wona dum don tu be abbe jonnira e mobile phone siko dum kadi laptop kala ko wayrode di ay kasba wa be wawma jonnute kadi sa fala humpitade ko weebi etti Google account ma joni ndata ton wada download app mabbe on ayay kala ko humpi may mabbe ton be weebi yama
ka wonda woy aduna on
kala ko wawda
a jonnanay wondo ka leydi men Gambia do dépense
harano weebi yama si dum no fono nebi immo den joni mi dota ma ka place mabbe jan
waden joni
iya heba ko fala
waden kisam
when we touch down better broke down
With Gamtel G-Fiber, now you can enjoy super fast internet in gigabytes. G-Fiber is affordable, stable, secured, and accessible to homes, businesses, and enterprises. With Gamtel G-Fiber, the future is speed. Gamtel, creating a brighter future in communication.
so she became mine and see the
In communication, connectivity is everything. We ensure that the links never sleep. Quantities and qualities, all in our data service, providing efficient, reliable voice and data service. We believe if you're not up to speed, then you're going backwards. Communications have to flow as fast as the speed of light. Whatever business you're in, having someone who understands your needs is critical. That is why we just don't offer you technology, we offer you solutions. Enjoy Gamcel's internet broadband anytime, anywhere. Your national operator, Gamcel, Yaibaram.
agada di
ke mbijan ro aga nyaade
albaka
mbaka important
yo nga transfer la sto
ya transfer la
ha code nyinji
okay porsan nsila id soto
ha sa so sorry agada di
mbijan ro
albaka
mbaka
bara alla service o tariya
mbale
mo ki janna nun kunu bara tariya
jannom yona forest de bureau gambia ton kon na no mbali ya bere birin koyna fo kato
bari si kodo kino kato nim fo bolon labe
56 branches mola soto gambia jam
ha
gambia kono ani gambia e bantala bankol nko kodo kiya bere kodo sifa fo falindiro fo nyaadi lafta même na kodi to poto nin kodi maro jannam number 1 ti nyonta andum fana nata anoda enterprise sotale wolam nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale de dadi man domorol dil fana beteat gambia dawda yalo ngam fa kendol sotale je
wo moyo diat
apelen da
barka ni na lafta nyelan kendol e binaji
yalo bu kanyi la ko la barka ba
yalo ndel ciosano lo
barka.
Hello and welcome to this special interview. Today I am at the Gambia Police Force and my guest is Mr. Mamour Jobe, Inspector General of the Gambia Police Force. Mr. Jobe, welcome to this special interview.
Yeah, Fatou, I will begin by thanking you for finding time to come to have this interview today. This is something that many media houses wanted in the past, but rather it was unfortunate, and I will check you to be a very lucky person for having me today.
It's a great honor to have you on our platform for the first time. And we, indeed, I'm sure my viewers are very appreciative of having you. When we put out the post that we're going to have the IGP, so many people wanted to hear from you. But first, I wanted us to talk about the reforms. Of course, since the change of government, the main agenda of this government is to do reforms, civil service reforms, security sector reforms, because a lot of people believe the security needs a lot of reforming. And even security officers believe that there should be a lot of reforming in our security service reforms. Since you took over, what are some of the major reforms that you have taken over, you have implemented as IGP?
Well, thank you for coming up with that question. I'll begin by saying that I had taken a lot of reforms since when I took over as IGP. Cognition of those reforms includes the review of the Police Act, which has been a colonial document, and we also worked on recruitment policies, which was not also something that was available in the Gambia Police Force. And quite often we have realized that we lack so many things that were not supposed to happen. But the fact that there was no policy guidelines that made it happen. Like I said, we had reviewed the Police Act to capture the realities that we have presently on the ground, and this talks about the functions of the police, the IGP, and a lot more which was not addressed adequately during the colonial era. And we also came up with a reform approach regarding the recruitment of personnel in the Gambia Police Force. There had been time in the past, of course, that recruitment was not guided by a proper policy. And that, in its effect, we have seen a lot of consequences and a lot of gaps along the line. Now, with this new reform that we have taken, it will give the police a better approach in coming up with the right people. Let's take, for instance, in the past, there had been times in the past that officers recruited in the Gambia Police Force, we accept grade 9 and even below grade 9. And looking at it nowadays, grade 9 is not a grade where people can be taken to work. Now we are saying that any person coming into the Gambia Police Force, at least most, should be a grade 12 student. And not only that, we are also looking at people that are graduate in different disciplines. And this was something that was not captured. This was not something that was, regarded in the past. And during the period as IGP, I had also conducted a lot of trainings, reform, particularly in the areas of public order management, which courses were organized and run by trainers from Turkey, from Germany, from UK, just to name a few. This training actually had yielded a very good result, because looking at where we were before and now where we are tells you that the training in that aspect has really yielded very good results. I will associate the good training we had. It was reflective during the 3 years journey. The 3 years journey that we just witnessed, the officers were highly trained. They knew actually what they were supposed to do. So one could say that with proper training, the results are great. And this, I have realized it myself, that with all the training that was given to them, they have improved a lot.
Perhaps the 3 years journey will not be a good example. A lot of us will disagree with you to say the conduct of the officers at the 3 years journey, what we saw on video, some of them were not very good. Would that be a typical example?
No, in fact, I will not say yes. In all operations, like if I may put it that way, sometimes in any operations done, at the end of the operations, you debrief, you look at your salt faults. Obviously, yes, we have identified some salt faults along the line.
Yeah.
And hopefully, we don't pray that something like that happens again. But if it is going to happen, then the professionalism aspect of the men will be manifested. We have identified some of the gaps that actually happen, and I'm sure that it will not happen again if, may God forbid, that we will get into that situation.
Would you agree the police did not handle the situation properly?
Well, I think we have done our best. That's my own assessment. I think the police have done all that they could, because bigger countries than Gambia have demonstrations with a lot of equipment, and of course, but the way we handled the demonstrators on that fateful day was unlike other countries.
IG, my issue and the concern so many Gambians have is anytime law enforcement, because in bigger democracies, our neighbor Senegal, every single day demonstrations happen. And for us, it just started happening now. But in bigger democracies, every single day demonstrations happen. But in Gambia, whenever demonstrators come in confrontation with the security, it's either lives are lost or people are seriously hurt. Why is it that? Is it because our men are not properly trained, or still we still have the same mindset that we had 22 years ago?
Well, the answers varies. Senegal is a democratic country.
Yeah.
They have been enjoying democracy for a very long time.
Yeah.
With us, every government knows that for quite a long time, democracy was not in existence. And 22 years, Fatou, is not one day.
Yeah.
And we are learning the process And I can say that with time, we will be better than Senegal. I can see in Senegal, many of their demonstrations, lives are lost.
Some, yes.
Yeah, in very many cases. This I can attest to that. But as IGP of the Gambia Police Force, since when I took over, there has never been a demonstration in this country leading to the loss of lives.
But so many injuries have happened.
Well, these are things that are bound to happen, even in bigger countries. America, for instance, UK, name it.
Yeah.
Once demonstration happens, there are bound to be issues like this. Unless otherwise, but if it happens in the Gambia, Gambia is no exception. It happens in bigger countries, and that's it.
So I'll let that go. But so IG, other things that people have also complained about is crime rate in the country. A lot of us believed, yes, in the past 22 years, yes, the security might have been a little rough, much more rougher than now, but crimes were managed compared to now. Now we have seen a lot of stealing in our communities. We have seen crime rates increasing in our communities. And yet we have so many police officers in the street, and people are scared. You live in your house and people come to your house and steal from your house, and there's nothing happening about that. Why is crime on the increase?
I will say, Fatou, I will not agree with you if you should say that statement. There is no country in the world that is crime-free. Let's take, for instance, countries that are in the sub-region and beyond. Crimes are committed on a daily basis. I remember I attended a conference where African police chiefs were there, and we all spoke about our crime situation in our country. But when I took up the podium to talk about Gambia, they told me that IG Gambia was the luckiest.
Did you give the accurate report? Because I know we have worked with PR on several occasions, and we have seen so many instances. I am a victim myself. In 2 years, my house was broken into 3 times.
I mean, these are things that probably is unfortunate that it happened.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying here is, looking at the state of the Gambia Police Force, as per the advice of the UN standard, according to the UN guidelines, is saying that this professional, the standard police officer can police 250 to 300 to one police officer. And some are saying the standard is one police officer to 300 civilians. And this is a situation where the officer is fully equipped. All that he's supposed to get, he got them.
Our officers fully equipped?
Not to that level.
Okay.
And here, with our present strength, we are talking of one police officer to 300 Gambians for that matter, which is above. And like I said, you are advised that the professional or person as police to civilian is 1 to 300 or 1 to 250, but Gambia is 1 to 400. And most of the equipment that a police officer, the ordinary police officer needs to carry, needs to have when doing his job, those things are not available. In other countries, you've got very good patrol vehicles.
People will say, before you buy water cannons to spray on us, why didn't you use the money to equip the police? The basic equipment they would need. You only needed that water cannon for one event. That was the 3 years.
No,
it never has been used.
I may not agree with you. It's not meant for the 3 years.
I mean, we would assume because it came around that time.
Okay, now let's just look at it this way.
Okay.
These are some of the equipment that are not only needed in handling public order management.
Okay.
If you go to other countries, you log on the website and look at the right equipment needed to handle public disorder includes, among other things, includes water cannons and other equipment, riot bands, the list goes on. So it is not purposely meant to handle 3 years. We have observed in the past where these equipments were not available. The security forces resort to using other literal means, which was not the best way. And now that we feel that Gambia should change from what it used to be to what it should be, and this is the situation where we get the water cannon, we get the riot bands, we get this, we get that. And somebody was saying, what are you going to use the water cannon for? I said the water cannon would be an option. We are not going to say that we get the water cannon and use the water cannon.
Would it be good? Would it not be good to prioritize the basic things that are needed on a daily basis? Should have been the priority first. Because I know, yes, water cannon is important, but the basic stuff, like today, the police need rain boots. Every police officer need that. Yes. They need red jackets. They need all the traffic signs, which are not available. These are basic stuff that the police need.
Yes, I will want to comment on that. It's also unfortunate that the supplies do not arrive on time.
Okay.
The consignment by way of this coronavirus, the supplies were supposed to arrive well before the rain. But unfortunately, the shipment got delayed. We are trying our best to make sure that officers of the Gambia Police Force are provided with rain boots and, of course, rain jackets.
So a lot of us, I'll still come back to the crime, a lot of us don't feel safe because, like I said, people go to sleep thinking the next minute somebody's going to get into my house to steal stuff. What specific measures is the police taking? I know it has been a challenge for the police itself. There are crimes, especially in the areas in around the Bigelows, the Kerr, the Senegambias. The crime rate around that area is really high. And people are worried. What is the police doing specifically to address these issues?
Now, the police are doing all their best in terms of patrol, in terms of arresting criminals. And if I can share with you, on many occasions, on a daily basis, the PRO can confirm that many people are arrested on a daily basis for committing crimes. And it's unfortunate that one would look at it to say that crime is on the increase. Yes. To some extent, some would say yes, but to some other extent, one would say no. Sometimes in the Gambia, what had not been happening and is happening now was there was restriction to information during the Second Republic. People were scared to talk to the media. People were scared to report some of the cases. The media was restricted to an extent that people can hardly say what they want to say. Now, with this Third Republic, that has been, completely different.
Yeah.
And people are free to make cases reported. I will share some concerns here. There had been a situation many a time where people will fabricate in the social media that this crime happened. An example I can give is there was a particular case that happened at the TDA area, Senegambia to be precise. Now, that Bureau de Science, the officer or the person who is in that Bureau de Science, created a situation where he wants people to believe that he was robbed. He took the money and created a scene. But when we went into the case, we realized that it was not actually a robbery, because there were so many gaps that were created. And not only that, but a lot of other cases involving petrol stations where those that work will create a scene to get some of their friends to come. I have got this amount of money, come, and you just create the scene and carry the money. And if it gets into the social media, people will have to believe that these things are real, these things are happening, when in reality that is not the case. I agree that we have crimes committed, and to this end I will solicit the understanding and the support of the people, particularly governments and non-governments alike, to support the police. Many a time these thieves have customers, and partly is very sad that there are times when government will give people money in advance in expectation of things that they will steal from other members. And you know that the person bringing these things is not capable of having it, but yet still you give him money in advance, that whenever you have flat screen, bring it over to me. And these are things that are not also helping the police. And we are also asking for information sharing. If you think that there is something going on at somewhere else, you try by all means and inform the police on time. Of course, there are people that are supporting the police. Since when I took over as IGP, if I tell you the support that I have from the public is unmeasurable. I will say that I am the luckiest IGP so far as public support is concerned. And that has been manifested by, you can see, you have been here before. You've seen the changes that have taken place. There had been time, or there was one time that the crime management set up and all other offices were bunched up in the headquarters. Now you can see that the headquarters is structured in a way that the crime management is having a building of its own where they do their duties comfortably. And like I said, in regards to the public support that I am telling you here, I have got support from members of the public, some of whom are renovating the police clinic in Banjul. There is also an ongoing renovation in Serekunda. I used to go to Serekunda and you see the structure, how it looks like and what it was like before. And as I also speak, there is also an other government philanthropist who is also renovating a Kerr police station. And you also got somebody in the Kerns who is also prepared to build a police station and buy us a vehicle. You've also got somebody else who's coming up with the same project in Kolior, Jabakunda, and then Kunta, to be precise. Kerr, I was supposed to open Kerr last Saturday, but because of the rains, the work delayed. But as I speak, the work is completed and is waiting for inauguration. Talk about Basse, there is a structure that I laid foundation, which is about also 8 million. Nothing is coming from Gambian, from the government's cover. Somebody is sponsoring from start to finish and you hand over the key. And again, there is also another PIU base, which I went to Basse to lay the foundation stone. That is about a project of about $1.7 million. So these are supports that I get. And also, yes, I also made mention of Busumbala. The community of Busumbala also came to give support, and not only Busumbala, but also Gunjur also on the other side. So these are all indications of public support. And I am privileged, I'm happy to say that the support I'm getting from the public is very commendable.
Wow. So IG, this only shows that the community is in appreciation of the Gambia Police Force. But in many instances, some people would even rather not go to the police because they don't trust the police. I know there's sometimes people will say, you go report a case to the police will not do the right thing. For example, I have seen victims, especially when it comes to the gender unit of the Gambia Police Force, where very sensitive cases have been reported, rape cases and child molestation and other cases have been reported. And victims have complained bitterly about the way they are treated, the way they are exposed, how they are not giving all the necessary protection, because when it comes to gender-based issues, the victims should be protected. They should not be even exposed. Recently, we have seen what happened, how a police file, a case file, was leaked to a media house, and where victims were exposed in that setting. But also, that's one instance. Other instances, people will even complain that some police work with these criminals when they steal. Sometimes you go to a police station, report a case. The next minute, the victim, the guy that you have taken to the police station, you see them in the streets, and you don't even know what they're doing in the street. So, and these are the same people you see frequently going back to the police station. It seems like it's their home. They're used to getting in and out of the police stations.
Okay.
What would you respond to people who say sometimes the police are conniving with these criminals?
Well, there are two sides to a coin. And precisely, I will say that not everybody speaks bad about the police.
No.
There are people whose experience with the police is relatively very good.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there are ones that have bad experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why my office have identified a professional standard unit, a human rights unit, if one may call it that way. And this is an office where people who are aggrieved, who feel has a complaint against any police officer, can go and report your case. And that unit reports directly to me, to my deputy, of course. They will listen to their complaints, and the appropriate actions would be forwarded to me, and I will direct the proper actions needed in that particular case. Like I always say, that there is two sides to a coin. That some people will say they are bad experience, but then there are people that are happy. They say very good about the police, to an extent that at the end of the day, they look at what they can do for the police. I have seen it happen several times. That somebody will be very, 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 very happy with the performance of the police, to an extent that he will provide us certain materials that are needed in our police operations.
So you want to, I want to look at specifically the gender unit, the gender unit of the police department. How equipped is that unit to help victims tell their stories to these officers?
Fatou, if I may share this with you,
yeah.
I am the first to recognize there is an office called the Female Network Unit.
Mm-hmm.
Their office is upstairs. I created the office, I furnished the office, and the personnel that are identified for that office, I make sure that I give them all that is needed. Now, with regards to the gender and child unit, it's still a baby. But then there are some other agencies who are supporting, even though that the support is a little bit minimal, but at least we are moving from one stage to another. I know if you are opportune to visit that office now and what it was like, you will realize that there have been some changes, even though that it's not a major one, but then there has been some changes in that regard.
Why does it take time for generally the police to prosecute cases, to get their documents ready for prosecute, to send for advice to the AG's chambers? Because that has been a complaint from so many people, especially when it comes to that unit, the gender unit. Is it because of resources or what?
Yes, you know, the AG's chambers is the legal department responsible to advise government on matters which needs legal attention. Many a time it becomes a requirement in some cases that you cannot prosecute without having the approval of the agency chambers. So files that are completed and compiled in this regard are mostly forwarded to the agency chamber for advice. And there had been some time in the past. If you can remember, one time the former AG, Tambedu, made mention that he was understaffed and cases were coming on a daily basis, and he has very little staff at his ministry at that time. And that also plays a very important role in not getting the files on time, because the staffs that he has were inadequate to an extent that they can work on the files that are sent. And remember, some of the files are very volume, it has a lot of statements, and if you are to give a correct opinion, you need to read all those files, page by page, and make references where possible, and it's not an easy thing. Precisely, people will say that there is delay.
Justice delayed is justice denied.
Yes, but then the courts, look at the courts does not only take police cases. There are other cases that the court hears on a daily basis. And sometimes magistrates will take 2-3 cases at most in a day. There are times that cases that have lawyers will drag for a very long time, because if your case is called upon, the prosecution is normally there, and then the defense will get up and say that we are asking for an argument because my lawyer is busy at another court, and that drags most of the cases that have lawyers.
So now let's look at some of the scandals that is hitting the police right now. So many things are happening right now in 1 week. 1 week. Let's start with the anti-crime unit. A lot of people said the anti-crime unit is a torture center. I believed myself that the anti-crime should be banned, it should be reformed, and I believe the leadership should be changed, because I have been a witness to issues that happened there. I have got a family member that was arrested, and I was denied access, and he was kept for 7 days without bail. And those things is not what we look for in the New Gambia. Okay. So I
just come in before you overload the questions.
Okay.
Now, some people might not be appreciative of the effort of the anti-crime. The anti-crime, if I tell you, a lot of Gambians, or maybe some Gambians, I would say some Gambians, might not appreciate their efforts. But if I tell you on the other side of the coin, quite a lot of genuine Gambians appreciate the efforts of the anti-crime. I mean, to an extent that
does it mean some of us are not genuine Gambians?
I am not saying that. If I may change the language, probably I want to say here that not everybody hates the anti-crime. Yeah. Of course, I agree if you would say that there are people that have got mixed feelings about their dealings with the anti-crime. Mm-hmm. You profile those people and look at what is it all about.
What is it all about?
I mean, you look at it. You look at why are they having problems with anti-crime?
Why are they having problems with anti-crime?
Well, I guess I will allow you, or I will make you to find the answers.
No, because I think that I believe the reason why we are having problems with anti-crime is the way they treat the citizens. That's what I believe. And so many people believe that too.
Let me learn here. What I want to say here, its simplest explanation is, I'm not saying that people that have problems with anti-crime are bad people.
Okay.
And I am saying these things to say that in as much as they don't appreciate the work of the anti-crime, quite a lot of Gambians appreciate the work of the anti-crime.
Okay.
However, there are instances where there are some shortfalls along the line, and that's why I said initially that if there is anybody that has any encounter that you feel is not the best way, the person can come to the professional standard unit. I will tell you that quite a lot of Gambians who may live very far from the anti-crime, as far as Brikama and beyond, they would prefer having a case all the way from Brikama and beyond, coming all the way to anti-crime. Probably they have got good experience. With them, if you ask them about anti-crime, they will tell you very good about anti-crime. There are some other people that you ask anti-crime, they will tell you a lot of negative things. And I don't think that anti-crime will be a complex, an institution where we all got it right. Some will like it and some will not like it.
Okay, so my question is, I know we have so many police stations across the country. We have the serious crime unit that has been the central point of serious crimes in the country, where they handle crimes that other police stations are not able to, if I'm right? So why do we need an anti-crime unit when we have the serious crime? Is that not a duplication?
No, that's the way probably that's the way you look at it. But then in operational sense, the serious crime unit is one rule is different from that of the anti-crime.
What is the anti-crime's role?
Anti-crime role is a unit that is responsible to make sure that crime is contained or crime is prevented from happening. Anything related to crime, they work against it. And I mean, they cover a lot of areas where we think the public is not safe, public is not enjoying its natural liberty, and crime comes in different forms. And they will go out there to make sure that people live the best way in a civilized society.
I remember when we spoke the other day, you told me, Fatou, I know you're a journalist, but I'm a lawyer. Yeah. Right? You said this to me. And IG, as a lawyer, you know that when people are taken into police custody, they are not subjected to labor without being charged or without being sentenced by the court for this number of years and hard labor, right? That's my belief. I'm not a lawyer, but that's my belief. Why does anti-crime find it necessary to put people that have been arrested to do hard labor?
Let me just intervene. Maybe we can program that question at a better time.
Why?
Why? Because the anti-crime issue is a subject of an investigation as I speak to you now. And I wouldn't want to divulge, I wouldn't want to talk about issues that are already on the ground.
But generally, any police station,
no, under normal
any police station, are they supposed to subject anybody into?
Yeah, under normal circumstances.
Yes.
People are supposed to enjoy the basic fundamental human rights.
You're not supposed to wash anybody's car.
Yes, under normal circumstances.
You're not supposed to farm for anybody.
Yes, no, what I will want to say here, I wouldn't want you to drag me to the anti-crime.
I want to talk about general policing.
What I want to say here that every human being is entitled to enjoy natural liberty and basic human right protections. And this, of course, even though that you offend the law, we are not to punish people who offend the law. We are just there to enforce the law, to make sure the people that break the law are taken before a competent court, and the court will look at what they do and decide what punishment to give out. It's unfortunate if only it happens otherwise, that somebody is asked to do this or somebody is asked to do otherwise. I mean, under normal circumstances, like I said, it is not supposed to happen. The person is detained, he's informed of his rights of detention, and whatever is entitled to him should be given to him.
To give him. Yes.
That's the language of the law.
That's the language of the law.
Yeah.
And okay, thank you. So let's talk about these instances. Let's talk about the Ibrahim Sane case. Ibrahim Sane, a young Gambian who was arrested with some other colleagues at the club around the Senegambia, and they were detained at the anti-crime. And he allegedly said he was hit. He was asked to do hard labor by doing farming at the anti-crime farms, and when he broke one of the plans, he was hit by the anti-crime commander, and he was hit on his private part, and that resulted to some injuries. So I spoke to you over the weekend, and you had confirmed to me that that statement was wrong, that was wrong. In fact, the police also issued a statement saying that the story that was out there is false, that Ibrahima, when was arrested, complained of abdominal pain. Ibrahima came out and called that press statement false and a cover-up from the IGP, and he was very disappointed. What would you respond to that?
Well, I will want to reserve, even though I will give you a little explanation. Why do I want to reserve is because I have already instituted an independent investigation team to look into that allegations. What happened was when I spoke to you, what I was made to believe was that there was somebody complaining, which was a fact. I read the complaint. The complaint was, I can read it.
Yeah.
I have this, I have that. The other side was also asked whether that was the case, and there was denial.
Can I come in?
Yeah.
Can I come in, IG? The office of the IG
Yes.
is where we entrust with major investigation of anything.
Yes.
This was a case that was storming the social media.
Yes.
For the office of the IG to release a statement like that without any major investigations.
Of course.
Because you just learned the investigation
No
now.
way. That's where you got the opposite. If I share what I have with you, any reasonable person will take the decision. Because in any situation of judicial processes, you look at A, you look at B, and then you look at what can address the situation. And here in this present scenario, there was already a complaint, and there is also a report from a qualified doctor. The doctor carried out the examination, and did not only stop there, but he went further to do the necessary scannings.
Yes.
To make sure that 100% of what is complained is traced during the examinations. And from the look of that report, you look at it, all the areas that were allegedly said were affected, were explained by the doctor to be intact and normal.
One thing, can I come in there?
Yes.
I also saw the report, and it said something. I saw a copy of that because the victim took a picture where it said the scrotum, something closer to the private part of the victim, was swollen. The report said that. And if the victim had complained that he was hit with a hoe at that private part, would not also give a little substance to the victim's complaint before the IGP took the decision to release a statement like that?
No, what I'm saying is, if you look at that report,
yes,
I wish I could have exposed it or show it out to the general public, but the fact that it's
a private document.
It's a private document.
Yeah. But I want to make it clear that even when I was coming, the victim is complaining that he still cannot have access to his medical report from the police.
Well,
they just called me, and I think they need, that is their private document, they need to have access to it.
Yes,
right?
Yes, if he will need that,
yes,
probably he can have access to it.
Okay.
To get his medications.
Yes, they do.
But like I am saying,
okay,
from that report, it has clearly explained that everything was examined, A, B, C, and there was nothing abnormal to say that the...
It did say there was something abnormal. The scrotum, there was a part where it said there was a swollen thing near to his private part.
What is normal?
It said it caused stress. And that was a concern because that was the same thing that the victim complained about. Would that not be something that would cause an alarm to somebody like you?
No.
You're a seasoned lawyer. And somebody
what I'm saying is, if you look at the basis of the complaint, and the medical evidence that was available at the time, I felt that the police or the complaint was addressed. Addressed in the sense that all those areas that were complained were addressed in the report to say that it was normal, it was intact. There was nothing that was seen to be contrary. And like I said, I will want to talk about this in a week time. Probably I can allow you to come back in a week time, because like I said, there is already a high-profile team of personalities from all.
But you have made your opinion known already. You spoke in a press conference, in a press release.
Now,
you made a release, and yesterday you did another statement interview. Why would the IGP? What would you say to the notion that IGP is always covering up for this particular commander?
No, and in fact, people are entitled to their opinion.
Okay.
Anybody can. People can say a lot. People can say a lot to say against you or to cover you, but I, for one, anybody that knows me, I have my own principle.
But would it matter? Would it not matter to the institution, the Gambia Police Force? This is an institution we are supposed to trust. We are supposed to trust our IG.
Like people, you don't trust me. Some other people trust me.
We do, but we will have questions.
No, Fatou, I think we need to be speaking on the same platform.
Yes.
What I am saying is, as a result of concerns, I have decided to make sure that I have people of credible character form up a team to go on the ground and to make sure that whatever might not have been captured can be captured. And at the end of the day, the right decisions are taken. But from what I can tell you is I will not want to detail much about that, because then I would be prejudicing the team that is already on the ground to collect facts as it may be. So that issue, I suggest with respect that we can probably adjourn, or maybe we can.
I do respect that, and I do understand. When did the investigations? When was it set up today?
It was set up today.
How can Gambians trust that the panel that you institute are the most independent panel?
I would say, you've got a member from the Gambia Police Force, you've got a member from the State Intelligence Service. These are senior citizen personalities. You've got one senior officer from the Gambia Armed Forces. You've got one from the Gambia Bar Association. You've got one from the Human Rights Commissions. So to make it look very dynamic, very reliable. This is a team that is not composed of only police officers alone.
Okay.
And then I am sure by the end of the day, I mean, the right thing will be identified and the appropriate actions will be taken.
So now the investigations are happening. The person in question is the commander. Would it not be just fair to put him on suspension? Because what we believe is people can tamper with evidence. People of power can use their influence and power to influence decisions. Would that not be the right thing to do? Because I've seen the IGP's office do that in certain cases.
Yes, I will want to share with you
that,
particularly in this interview, that he is put on administrative leave. He was called this morning in the office of the IGP, and I instructed that let it be given at administrative leave. That will create an environment for the investigators to have access to relevant information. And as I speak to you, he has already received his letter, and I'm sure he will not just go like that. He will need to handle certain responsibilities to make sure that the investigators will be
they'll have access
to wherever they want to go.
Yeah. I will let this case rest since that is the case. And I'm sure so many Gambians will appreciate this. Yeah. We want independent investigation, but when it's done also, we want the people that we think might tamper with it to just be put on leave until the outcome of the investigation. And
that was why I decided to extend it, to make sure that the credibility, the right decisions are taken. I had requested from other bodies to make sure that the people that they would send or they had to send should be very credible and should be of high professional standards.
I spoke to Ibrahim yesterday in his house with 6 of his friends. The guy, the victim, I spoke to him with 6 of his friends. He spoke to me on camera because he wanted to speak to the IGP directly. He said, Fatou, I have declined every interview, but I know if I do this interview with you, the IGP will watch this interview. Maybe, just maybe, that will prompt an investigation because no one reached out to me to ask my opinion. And when I saw that statement, that made me cry. It made me believe, as an ordinary Gambian, I had no voice. That made me teary.
Well, I would say that Lamin made a statement.
Ibrahim.
Ibrahim. Because if you look at the page, the Facebook page, where he was lying on a hospital bed, if one would call it that way, there was an explanation attached to that situation. And in that summary of that poster, among other things includes a lot more that is part of this investigation.
Yeah. That was not his statement though.
Well,
that was people's statement. Ibrahim only gave a statement when the police issued a statement yesterday.
So like I said, you've got an edge over many of the media houses that you got this interview possible with me today.
Yes.
And this investigation is not supposed to take long.
Okay.
I have given them timeline. Hopefully before Friday.
Hopefully before
Friday, it should be completed.
And can I have the exclusivity to talk to you right after the investigation?
Well, certainly.
Please.
Let's hope that Uncle Corona lives also.
We will be here. We will definitely be here. And I also wanted to say that I know Ibrahim reported this morning he was not feeling well. He went on a bail reporting today, and that was kind of strange to so many of us. He was arrested with 20 other people. Why is he the only one going on bail reporting?
Well, I wouldn't want to comment on that because I don't know the basis of which he is asked to report.
Yeah.
I know that he was charged for a criminal offense.
That is.
But the fact that he was the only one asked to go, that I am yet to verify.
You are yet to verify. I can tell you he was charged for destroying a plant. That was why he was charged. And that's why he's reporting again.
Fatou, let's
we will leave this there.
Yes.
Thank you very much, IG, for clarifying that. And for viewers that are watching, it's been clarified that the police have changed their position from the first press statement. The police is investigating this matter as we speak. The IG's office have set up an investigation panel, which we hope before the end of the week will come out with something. And this is something, and also the commander in question has been sent on administrative leave effective today. Now let's move on to the other case. This also has to do with the anti-crime. A young Gambian by the name Lamin Kinte accused the anti-crime of recovering 250,000 euro of his money from a marabout who was arrested, and up to now he's not able to access that money. What do you know about this case, IGP?
Well, I may want to say here that there was a panel of investigation that was conducted, and there is nowhere in the findings that money was recovered or money was received. However, I also owe to you that you will come another time when I will talk to you. Talk to you in this sense means the case is already before the court in Kanifi.
It's been withdrawn.
No, allow me.
Okay.
It's sent to court, and the file is already at the AG's chambers. in order for the chambers to look at it and try to come up with other advices as far as the case is concerned.
The police had gone to court, taken this case to the court and withdrew it. Why that? Why did they do that?
No. What I mean is the case was taken to court.
Yes.
And as it was mentioned before the court, then it was sent to the AG's chambers. So the AG's chambers are going to look at it carefully or properly, as if you will take that word, and they will come back. I may not also want, I will tell you something that is very, very clear here. That there are so many issues that people probably, at the end of the day, they know that there was something wrong from somewhere, but not the police. We have seen instances where people are giving money to hand over to families. They come and create scenarios. I'm not saying that that is the case, because then I would have prejudiced the outcome of the judicial investigation. However, let's all pray to God that we are able to witness the future. You will be shocked. You will be shocked that all that was alleged, or all that is alleged, is not actually what happened.
This particular person said he came to your office, and when he came to your office, what you told them was to keep this a secret. Why would the IGP told people that trusted the police to keep it a secret?
That is completely false. In my capacity as IGP, I will never compromise issues like that. And I can remember on the day, he did not come to my office alone. He came with several other personalities, including National Assembly members.
Remember, he said that, yes.
And when I listened to his story, my instruction was very clear, very precise. I said, CMC in this case is the Crime Management Code. I said, CMC, let this case be re-investigated and the proper actions to be taken. Let you leave no stone unturned. Why will I say in the person of people here that don't go X, don't go Y, we will compromise? I cannot do that.
Well, IG, and then for me, and I've said this to you yesterday, when you investigate people, even in our offices, anywhere, you would excuse them from from that position that is being investigated. This particular commander is the same guy, the anti-crime commander, and Gorgimbub was the same person who was involved in this case also. When this investigation was going on, he was working in his office. He was not put on administrative leave when that investigation was on. Men of power and influence can influence decisions. They can influence positions of investigations. Why was he not put on administrative leave when that investigation was on?
Now, primarily one would say that the entire investigation did not suggest that money was received or money was recovered. I will be quick to say here that I would not want to go very far. Why? Because the case is in the right hands and right decisions are going to be taken.
With all due respect, IG,
yes,
to people who said IGP was part of those who enjoyed part of this money, what would be your response to that? And why would somebody who ate part of this money be the one to set up investigative panels?
I would
you could put your friends there.
Just land here. I would say anybody that has that evidence and value from wherever the person is, you are encouraged. And that's what I said to you and the other media houses. I said, in this particular case, whosoever has any evidence that money was received, by whom, come to me. If you don't trust me,
that's what I was going to say.
If you don't trust me,
who do I go to?
The Minister of Interior is around. go to him, or you don't trust the Minister of Interior, there are other people that you can go to and lay those evidences before them and say, look, that's it against Fatou Touré. Look, let me just tell you here that evidential value nature can never be changed. If they believe on what they are saying, that there is evidence that X has received it, let them come forward, let them bring it out and say, that's the evidence. Some people are very good at accusations. They were given the opportunity to provide, to say that X has received, Y has done these things, but all what they are saying is based on hearsays. Let me just tell you one thing here. Some Gambians feel that the Gambia of the Second Republic is the same Gambia that we have. We are moving.
We are moving.
Fatou, you remember during the Second Republic, anybody that is accused of overthrowing a government, you don't think of anything.
You know you're going to.
Whether there is evidence or
not.
Whether there is no evidence, your life is.
That's it.
In
danger.
In danger.
Yeah.
And probably that audio that circulated in the social media, causing pandemonium to all Gambians, and naming some other Gambian personalities that they were involved, they were behind it. At each time that they make statement, they swear. For Gambians to believe, and everybody was panicked to say that coup was in the meetings.
Yes.
And that accusation couldn't be substantiated by those that made the audio. When we looked at it, if it were during the Second Republic, all of them would have been rounded. Whether there is any case against them or no case against them, all of them, anybody that is mentioned in that tape
would have been arrested.
Would have been arrested.
Yeah.
But in this new dispensation, so we look at it, we took at it, we take it up as a responsibility as head of security. We look at the gaps, what is possible and what is not possible. There are certain people that are mentioned in that tape. It is zero possibilities that you cannot associate them with overthrowing a government. And when we looked at it left and right, we realized that these things were completely false.
But IG, Lamin's case though, Lamin's case though, IG, we have all listened to Lamin for almost 2 hours.
Fatou, what I am saying here is very simple.
What is that?
What I am saying is, if Lamin has the evidence to say that his money was taken by X and Y, he is advised, he is encouraged.
He's been said that his money has been recovered by the anti-crime commander.
No, that's what he says. But what proofs can he say? And remember that the court goes beyond, imagination. Court relies on evidential values, evidence in, evidence productions. What I would want to say here is, if only he thinks that he has money, he brought money, he gave it to X, he must be prepared enough to bring relevant evidence or other witnesses or other evidential value to substantiate whatever he is going to say. You as a journalist, I will use this opportunity to tell you to inform him.
He's watching you right now.
Yes, of course. I know everybody in the whole world.
The whole world is
what I am saying
anticipating
here,
this interview.
What I am saying here is, if he has the evidence, he can come to you. Probably he trusts you, and say to Fatou, this is the evidence that I have against you, and let's see what is going to happen.
The police's role is to investigate.
Fatou, there are a lot of accusations. People are good at. If I tell you that people talk a lot of things about you,
I know.
You don't believe.
They do.
And does that mean that what they say about you is true?
Not all of
it's
them.
It's not true. And taking it from the baseline of those scenarios, I'm not saying that what he's saying is all false. But what I want you to understand, And I want you to use this opportunity to tell him. I met him only once, and I would not recognize him if I would see him again. Anybody that he trusts in this country, let him confer to that person and produce the evidence he has against any person.
IGP, out of every, I don't know how many men and women does the police service force have, I'm not sure. But out of all the men and women in the police force, why would somebody just single out one person? Every time there's an issue, every time scandals happen, every time issues happen, is the same commander of the anti-crime unit. Why would we choose him all the time?
I would not know the answer. People have got different reasons. And probably in this particular case, I do not know why he chose out of the anti-crime to mention a particular person. Probably the answers could come from
It has been always the same person.
Yes, but in this particular case of reference that we are talking about, we are projecting our attention on one person. And what I am saying is, I would not know why. Probably maybe he has the answers himself.
People say Gorgui Mbub is untouchable. Is it true?
I would say that is ridiculous, is unfounded. There is nobody in my administration that is not touchable, as far as I'm concerned. Anybody that knows me in the police, you know that I work with principles.
They say Gorgui Mbub is IG's boy.
Yeah,
he's untouchable.
No way.
He does not even report to his commander, operations commander. He reports direct to the IGP.
That is not true.
That's the claim.
Anyway, like I am taking it from me that is not true. He has a reporting line and he reports accordingly.
To the operations commander.
Of course.
So, okay, let's talk about some of the issues that the anti-crime has been involved in. The Usman Dabo case.
Well,
people believe that's one of the reasons why we should even disband the anti-crime.
Okay.
Usman Dabo died in the hands of the police. Allegedly.
Fatou,
I'm using the lawyer stamp. I will use the lawyer stamp. I correct myself. Let me correct myself.
I'll drag you to the court.
That's why I'm rectifying myself. Allegedly. Okay. I know I'm talking to a lawyer. That's why I said allegedly.
Let me just tell you a little about Usman Dabo's case.
Yeah.
Usman Dabo was arrested by members of the anti-crime on a case related to receiving stolen property.
Yeah.
He was arrested, detained, and later granted bail. Now, I was told that during the period of his detention, he had developed relationship with the officers of the anti-crime, to an extent that one of their laptops that was broken was given to him to repair. And on that fateful day, after having repaired the laptop, he came on his own. That was not reporting bail time, because that was in the evening. After having repaired the laptop, he took it back to the anti-crime. That shows that there was already a relationship established during his type of detention.
Yeah.
And we are told sufficiently that he is an asthmatic patient who always go along with his hand pump, which he uses when he is attacked. But on that particular day, he did not go along with his hand pump, with his gas. You call it, is it gas pump or hand pump?
But you don't have to always go with it.
No. Anyway, yes. But some people, in case of emergency, they always make sure that they have it.
An emergency might be if you were tortured or beaten.
Well, let me just learn.
Okay.
And then when he went into the anti-crime to hand over that laptop, he handed over the laptop and came back.
Yeah.
When he was coming back, to the main gate, he felt exhausted and had some breathing or maybe he was feeling dizzy.
Yeah.
Then he called one of his friends and said, please help me, I am not feeling fine, I'm feeling dizzy. The friend helped him and they took him to a private clinic. Unfortunately, along the way, he died. The doctor at the clinic examined him and said the primary cause of death was associated to respiratory failures. We felt that was primary in the sense that there has not been a postmortem deeper to know what were the causes.
What triggered that respiratory?
We got that report and the body was moved to the RVH. At the RVH, it took some time because the relatives, the parents, probably never wanted Gambian doctors to carry out the postmortem. They wanted to find other doctors to do the postmortem. If you can remember, the body stayed over 1 month at the mortuary. Luckily, that coincided with the arrival of the Cuban doctors. They arrived and conducted the postmortem in the presence of family members. And in that postmortem, there was nowhere where it has been realized or discovered that he was tortured. All what the doctor indicated after his examination was that his death is attributed to respiratory failure, but could not substantiate or could not indicate that he was tortured. Allow me.
Okay.
Then when that thing happened, we took the 2 reports and we went on air. The government spokesperson made a press release to this effect. And the National Human Rights Commission were not also satisfied. They carried out their investigation independently. And when they did their investigation, no officer was involved. They did it on their own. They came up with a report. And if you look at the website, you will have access on that. And there is nowhere where in that report indicates that he died out of torture.
The report indicated that he died out of respiratory...
No. What I'm saying is,
Yeah.
You mentioned a word that I would not want you to use in this context.
I want to use it in one reason. The reason why I'm using it, when somebody is asthmatic, certain things can trigger for them to have an attack.
Yeah. Now
If they are put in a, let me finish. I'll let you speak. Let me just say something, IGP. If somebody is asthmatic, there are certain things that can trigger attack. One, heat, excessive heat can trigger attack. When they are beaten, when they are tortured, when they are put in a maltreated, that can trigger attack. And this guy was detained. And family members that spoke to him last minute said he did say he was beaten by the police.
Fatou, what I am saying here.
Yes.
There are so many instances.
Yeah.
What you name is only one of the factors that can agitate, provoke. Excessive walking can also cause somebody to be tired.
Yes.
I know you must have felt otherwise when you climb.
I did.
You realized that there was difficulty in your breath and the like.
Yeah.
And if you look at the anti-crime complex, where vehicles are asked to park and the offices is at least a distance. I'm not saying.
For a young man, that would not be an issue.
That
was not an issue for somebody like me.
A healthy young man,
yeah,
that shouldn't have been a problem. But like we said, that the guy has some complications.
But can we also, maybe also the possibility of somebody being tortured? Did we also think about that?
Fatou, yes, if he was tortured, that was supposed to be reflective in the autopsy report carried out by the Cuban doctor who did all that he could to find what were the possible cause of this man's death. And surprisingly, The report did not indicate that. All what the report indicated as primary and secondary causes of death is attributed to asthmatic in nature. And if there was somewhere to indicate that this guy might have died as a result of maybe pressure or whatever, then one could suggest that maybe there was something wrong at the time, but that had not been the case.
I'm sure I know you're a good lawyer. If you were to defend Usman Dabo's family, you would pursue this angle that Usman Dabo, even though died of because he's an asthmatic patient, he could have certain things could have provoked his attack. This would have been an angle for any good lawyer to pursue. I'm sure you know that, IGP. You're a good lawyer. I know that. But I know you're defending your institution. But when I have an asthmatic patient at home, and I know when he plays football, just mere football, he comes home at night, we don't sleep because of the pressure he's on. So these are some of the things that trigger. So if somebody is hit, or somebody has a fight, or somebody was beating, these are some of the things that will trigger the attack. And it could lead to death. So that's why I'm saying a good lawyer can argue that. Yes, the investigation report is saying this, but especially when the family member is saying this person told them that he was tortured.
The essence of going in for post-mortem is for the doctor to advise the primary and secondary causes of death.
Okay. Okay.
And in law, the magistrate, the judges will ask that question. This man died, what were the causes? And that's why in many cases where death is involved, there needs to have an autopsy report. And we are looking at it from that context to see that the first one that was done without a postmortem indicates respiratory failure, which was again confirmed after having done the necessary openings and checking properly. They came up with the same conclusions.
Okay.
And then that's why I am not comfortable. I'm not happy to hear people say that he was tortured.
To the extent you will charge people for that?
Well, it all depends. Fatou, I know where you are dragging me to. But let me just make it very clear here.
Yeah.
Yes, because that portion of that statement looks very incorrect.
Can we charge the IGP or the PRO for broadcasting false statement right now? Because the press statement that you just published is you just turn back on it. So that means it's false. Can we charge you for the same law?
No. You are getting the substantive wrong.
How?
How? Because the substantive here is there that the interviewee mentioned that the guy was arrested, detained, and tortured.
Yeah.
I underline. The issue of torture is what requires an interpretation.
It requires interpretation.
Here
requires interpretation.
Yes. No, what we are saying here is, we are saying that there has not been any element of torture present in all the police investigations. And there has not been any element of torture present in the independent investigation carried out by the National Human Rights Commission. In their report, probably what I can remember seeing, among other things, was some other administrative lapses, but they could not attribute the death of Usman Dabo as a result of torture.
Okay. If the outcome of the investigation you just launched prove that the victim's story is true, will your office sue yourself and the PRO for broadcasting a false statement? Because this is something that your office relies on.
Well, like I said, I will not want to comment on that.
Why? No, just not the subject.
I am saying...
Not the subject, just the basics. Because that is the law of the land, IG.
I am saying the basis
yeah.
for which it happens is a matter of judicial concern, and that has been launched today. And at the end of the day, whatever is recommended, appropriate actions, decision will be taken.
People say the police is the biggest peddler of fake news.
Yes, they can say that.
Is it true?
It's not true. That's what they believe.
If this one turns out to be false, then we can qualify that statement.
Well, I will not say that one can take it to be that way. I always say to you that it depends the way people perceive things. I mean, you look at it this way, somebody else looked at it that way. And that's why the law refers once to the canons to the canons of interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
Canons of interpretation is where the subject, the basic substance is interpreted word for word, giving it a literal meaning. There are instances when the law goes beyond that to say, we are not going to interpret a document as per its scriptures, but we are going to interpret the document based on the intention of the maker. What do he intend to say?
So that is something. I just got lost here. So now you use all the legal jargons so you can protect the police instead of qualifying that when the statement is wrong.
Yes. No. What we are saying here is what is important here is that justice is done. The Gambian people deserve justice in all their cases.
Will you apologize to the victim if you find that your first statement was wrong?
Let's wait to get to where.
When we get to that.
When we get to that.
Okay.
Yes, and like I said, 1 week is not a
long time.
A long period. There are always journalists like you who make something, and then at the end of the day, they make rejoinders.
Yes.
And if I am guided by principle to say otherwise, then I will make a rejoinder.
Okay, we look forward to that. And finally, I know PRO is telling me my time is up. Finally, what happened to the 2 million and the drugs that was allegedly, I'm using the word allegedly,
anyway, that one...
That the police officers took from foreign nationals and let them go.
Well, like I also say, take note. The case is coming up in the court, hopefully maybe by next week or even this week. Because some of the officers that are involved have to undergo a process with the PSC force. But what I know is that the case is properly investigated.
So it's true?
Yes, there are officers that are alleged to that particular case. And the case is investigated, the report is submitted, and hopefully, if I may say it accurately, by next week the case should be in.
I know you gave me a little into the other case. You said the report. You have said a little. What about this one? Are you trying to protect your men?
No, I am not. If I were to protect them, I wouldn't have taken them to court in the first instance. Or I would have been dragging feet. I would have been changing the story. But that was not the case. And like I said. When the case was investigated, we realized that there were some new developments, circumstantial-wise and all whatnot, and they were suspended. And then the case is presently been sent to the chambers, and chambers will look at it to see if the charges that we prefer is adequate. If not, what is the gap, and they will advise accordingly.
Is it true some of the men did confess to taking part?
Well, I am sure, and I will tell you that some officers are involved, and I wouldn't want to go into detail as to their involvement, because that would be a matter for judicial investigation. Because I wouldn't want to make a statement as if I'm a witness. What I will say probably will be based on hearsay, what I am told happened.
What were you told?
No, I say, if I am to make a statement, probably I will base it on what I am told. And that is hearsay, and let's allow the courts to take its course. One thing that I can say here is that the case is on course. The case file is open, statements are taken. Those that are accused are accounted, and the case will be at the court at any time soon.
All these scandals under your leadership right now, all these scandals under the police force, why do you think the men of the Gambia police are undertaking some of these issues? Because it's affecting the credibility of the institution. Why?
Yes, you know, Fatou, naturally people are not the same.
Yeah.
Even in your own compound, you born your own children, not all of them are the same. Some of them accept, listen, take advices. Some of them, every day you beat them on the same thing. Yes, still they are your own children. They come from the same mother, they come from the same father. And these are things that are unfortunate. It's not only Gambia that it happens in other countries. I mean, people who are involved in very serious issues, naturally human beings are like that. And we take the necessary approaches where they act otherwise against, or where they act otherwise. And that's why whosoever do it the wrong way, we will make sure that the rule of law is enforced.
Is it because the police are underpaid? They don't have a good pay scale?
Well, this is government. This is government. The pay scale of government is the same across the board, not only the police. I know in other countries that have bigger resources, their pay is better. But we, as a country, we should be contented with what the government can provide. One would be selfish to look at it from that small angle, that the police are not paid. The options are there. When you are coming, you know the pay scale. If you think the pay scale is not good, then you have the right decision to make. But if you choose to go on those conditions, you should be able to make yourself honest and committed. And anybody that may have acted otherwise, the law is there to guide us in those regards.
Officer Khadijaju became the nation's darling last week when she was spotted serving the community under the heavy rains without a raincoat. And this, a lot of Gambians appreciated. And we all called for your office to give her a promotion. I was one of those people who did advocate for that. And you answered to the Gambians' calls because, and we do appreciate it. It seemed that the office of the IGP do listen to us. And you did listen to us. What prompted that decision?
Fatou, I will say here, to the benefit of all listeners, sometimes luck becomes a destiny. If I tell you that her boss, Khadijaju, her boss, was forced in the rain waters, she was soaked, she had her shoes off, and she was doing precisely the same as what Khadijaju was doing. People were passing her in that mood, but she was not fortunate to get a picture from a member of the public.
Yeah.
And when she got tired in controlling the traffic, she instructed Khadijaju to come to her position and take up it from there. She instructed Khadi to remove her shoes and continue from where she stopped. And luckily for Khadi,
someone captured her.
Somebody captured her. And within a short time, it went viral all over the world.
The power of social media.
Yes. And then some people say, wow, Khadi is lucky. But then her boss was there before Khadi, but her boss was not lucky.
Yeah.
And guess what? She has a lot of rewards. And I remember one day when Tafnyai came to my office and said, IG, it's good for people to be very honest.
Yeah.
He said, do you know what honesty can bring for you? This girl, she has shown high commitments, dedication to her profession, and you see what is coming her way.
Yeah.
Tough bought a big ram,
Yeah.
brought in rainbows, and today I read in the Facebook that somebody is asking her to
Get a land.
and he's going to build it.
And Fatou Camara raised 250,000 for her.
Yes. And that one I also, I was told by Alma Yes Manga.
Yeah.
And then also there is somebody who I am told, I'm not too sure, that he is...
Gave her clothing for also for,
yes,
for
and there's also another one that is asking whether she's interested to further her education. The person is prepared to pay for her up to her first degree.
Wow.
So you see what honesty, what commitments.
What?
And some people, I mean, envy her in the sense that she was not the only one that committed to that services, but they were not fortunate.
Yeah.
The luck has to come their way.
Yeah.
But I will, of course, take this opportunity to thank you and thank your media for raising that fund.
It was Fatou Camara, the Fatou Network.
Oh, Fatou Network. Okay.
Yes, it was Fatou.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I would say thank you through her.
Yeah.
That it has made my institution very proud, and this has acted as a bell for people to
encouragement for so many officers as well
to do the same thing. I remember after Fatou's decoration, I saw some people were also trying to struggle.
Yeah.
To look like Fatou.
Yes.
So I said, well,
Kadi, right?
Yeah,
Kadi.
Kadi.
Yeah.
So once again, I thank you for coming to my office.
Yeah.
And then.
So you listened to us when we said decorate her, and you decorated her. IG, we are saying, can you do a change at the anti-crime? You are our IG. We want a revamp. We are not saying ban it. We want change of leadership and revamping this institution.
We
know you will listen.
I know what I am going to do.
We know you will listen.
Fatou, I guess I would want you to find out from people that know me very well.
Yeah.
I have my own principles. And honestly, like I always say, we have suffered a lot of setbacks. And with the help of God and good people, we are at least moving stage by stage. And obviously, these are things, some of the things that I consider doing to make sure that the anti-crime is restructured. And this also will serve as a watchdog, if I may call it this way, that people can do their work, but they do it in a very professional way. What is not the law is not the law, but what is the law should be the law. That's my principle.
To those who say IG should resign, what's your response? That's my final question.
Well, that's what they wish.
Yes.
That's what they believe, and it's up to IGP to listen to what they say.
Are you going to do it? Do you feel you have done something wrong to resign?
Well, I don't think I have done anything wrong, and I don't think I should listen to people to tell me to resign. Those are their personal opinions. That's what they wish for me. And on that note, I don't think I don't have to listen to people to tell me do this, I do it.
Your final message to everyone that's watching you. Thank you very much for hosting us for giving us this interview. It's a great honor.
And thank you also for coming. And let's hope that we pray that Uncle Corona, like I say, leave the Gambian territory as quickly as possible.
Very soon.
I will grant many more interviews by the wish of the Almighty.
Yeah.
And once again, I'm proud, I'm happy that I have you here today. Most of the confusions will be cleared by people, will be cleared from this interview. And anybody who listened to my interview probably will get at least some idea as to how things happen or how things are happening. I can assure to the Gambian people that we are not perfect. We are not. Every human being is bound to make mistakes, and if there is any mistake, we will show that we will rectify. We will learn from those mistakes, This particular one is of interest to me, and that was why today when I came, I decided to set up a credible team, and that is for the first of its kind. That we invite the Bar Association, we invite the Human Rights Commission. All other investigations were carried out at ordinary level, but this I said, in order for the office of the IGP to be fully informed, I have to get people that can speak the language of realities. And I hope that with this approach, I will get the language of the reality on the ground. And once that is done, we will take it up. We will take it up from there.
And I think so many Gambians will be very happy with this approach that your office have taken. I think people almost lost hope, but I think this will give us a renewed hope that the IGP and the office of the IGP is listening to the Gambians. We want to thank you, and we want to thank the PRO for helping to put this interview together. And I will say, I did text you during the weekend to say I was trying the PRO, I couldn't get him, so I wanted to talk to you about this. And when we spoke, you confirmed at that minute to grant me this interview, and I do appreciate that. Thank you very much.
On the last note, I will want to tell you here that is my style. I don't underrate any person. Many a time people call me, whether I know you or whether I don't know you, I always return calls. They can attest I am the first, or I'm among the first people that come to the office. I'm here by 6:15, and I leave 6, after 6, sometimes 7. And it was not a surprise, but maybe it might have been a surprise that I returned a call and I talked to you for the first time.
Yes, for the first time.
There were also some other media houses outside the country. They wanted to grant me an interview. I told them to channel their request through the PRO, because I wouldn't want to grant interview to somebody who's not in the country. I don't know them, and you who is fortunate to have this first interview, I will always want you to come to my office where you call Njai and you cannot get him, call me. What I know, I will let you know. What I don't know, I don't know.
Well, thank you very much. We do appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you. And to our viewers, I hope you have a clear information as to what is happening at the Gambia Police Force. And we will follow up this case, the cases, the Ibrahim Asani case, the investigation is on, the drug case, the investigation is on, the Lamin Kinte case, the investigation is done, it's at the Aegis Chambers. All of these cases, we will follow up and we will get back to you whenever we have any. Well, the police have been accused of not giving us results of investigations. I hope this time we get results of these investigations. Until we come away another time, bye-bye to you all. See you next time. Bye.
Love like fire. Wow. Love like fire. Xam ngeen rek affaire bi xam ngeen fan la? Skincare la. 2020 lañ wax de. Waaw. Fii nag mooy Kerr fan, Kerr zero tache. Perfect skin. Skincare saa su ne rek niñ ko dee defee rek. Loo lañ soxlaati rek. Maanaam bu ngeen am problème ci seen skin, yéen xam ngeen fan la. Fii ngeen di ñëw. Suma xarit yeeg am di jàmm yi nga xam ne taas daf lañ sonaloon, xam nga doon xeesal bel la ka xum. Éneew ma lañ ko nag waaye just in case comme ni ko gars yi di waxee rek en cas just in case loolu xew xam ngeen fi ngeen di ñëw Skincare Plus si yu baax rek la ñoo dox nag ay baax rek fu ne la ñoo dem ci réew mi di lañ indi rek nag products yu baax du Paris du Italie du USA du fi mu nekk nii sax boole nañ ci nag Sweden
fu nekk la ñu indile products bu dee tamit nag da nga ñuul rek ñu lay jamaa natural beauty that melanin dripping we do have stuff for you as well emuñ si skincare products rek ñu ngi ci cuub yi tamit fu ne la ñoo jaar in fact sax last commercial bi ñu defoon waxuñ leen woon ne dañoo dox ci ay kawar 9A grade rek nag waaw we do have bundles as well hair si lu ne la ñoo dox ñun ñu ngi ci rafetal jigéen rek luy taaral jigéen rek waaw boo leen di tukki tamit bëggoon rek classic suitcase ñu dañoo dox ci ay Samsonite duñ dee indi any brand of suitcases though other than Samsonite comme li ma dee wax rek boo eggee airport dëri Samsonite dafa am nuñ laa xoolee waaw ngeen ne lan nag waaw skin ci moom la ñu gën a xamee nag skin care products ci moom la ñu gën a xamee ñu ngi dox tamit bentee tamit si ay dàlla man waaye man nag skin care mooy suma specialty xam nga rek jigéen bu sa xar kanam réglé loo def mu jag am nañ Patricia Reiner, Kiwi Eye, the whole range, Lighten Up Gold, Tomatine. I mean, the list can just go on and on and on and on. Lépp loo xam ne rek luy taaral jigéen la ci yooyu rek la ñoo dox. Skincare Plus nag emuñ si Gambia rek ñu ngi United States ñu ngi Gambia fii ba pare bu dee yaa ngi anywhere in Europe mun nañ la ko mail within 3 days rek ñetti fan rek nga jot say diw emuñ si loolu rek dañ laa consult tamit balaa ñu laa jaay diw dinañ def a free consultation pour wax la rek exactly li nga xam ne moo méngoo ak sa kanam dinañ leen wax tamit ne rek am nañ perfumes, you know, fragrances, men's shirts, accessories. We do dresses as well. We do blouses. I mean, we do shoes. Name it, we do them. Skincare Plus 2020 is our year of perfection. Zero task fi mu nekk nii réew mi fii kenn waratu fi task kenn waratu fi am problème kanam kenn waratu fi am problème picture boo ko amee dafa fekk ne rek ñëwuloo ci place bi fii.
Love like fire. Bring my yobo guma fire. Love like fire.
Stewart & Co. Solicitors, a legal excellence firm in London that can help you with all aspects of your legal work. If you are looking at immigrating to the United Kingdom, Stewart & Co. can help you to set up business, buy houses in the UK, and will deal with all your legal works from start to finish.
For all your general immigration work, we can help you with that as well. If you apply for any form of visa, whether student visas, settlement visas, marriage visas, or a child wanting to come to the United Kingdom to settle with the family, we can help you to achieve your goals.
Stewart & Co. Solicitors, a legal excellence firm specializing in conveyancing, immigration, litigation, family law, personal injury, licensing, no win, no fee. Contact us today at www.sk-solicitors.com.
No, ini bara. Okay. Welcome. Basically, lots of lala me along is cool, man. That I can really relax. What the madam? Yeah, that's what the madam? Yeah. Let them do somebody. That's right. Grand Villa. Grand Villa. That's fine. Salaam alaikum. Yes. No. But in the yeah, actually, a lot of people are basically me alone because they relax. So it's basically I can understand. Nina from Nice one. Nidia, Nena Grand Villa. It's the best guest house in the Gambia.
Beji andikam Grand Villa Guest House. Na labungol bebe senyaring adum na bungol bebe nyarandiring coming ibe la fila ila suwe taranyame. Ntel Grand Villa na kiliano la lafino wale mukangotin telkang. Na ye sabati Grand Villa ye la kodo na fa kalamuta.
Oh man, this is like a paradise. I know. I so much love this place. Thank you. Trust me, I love this place.
You can move somebody and you're watching what?
Yeah.
I know what Gambia Grand Villa.
I tell you. I love this place. Okay.
Yes.
I love this place, man. Oh yeah.
fila ni leftan na kuo keso sotola futamma Oljuntum Paradise Estate mbaya komandiro ke 7527218 wala futan na website oto www.grandvillaguesthouse.com. Grand Villa Guest House.
Miss B Designer Outlet is the #1 quality and affordable stop shop for all your needs. Get your evening dresses, suit and ties, office wears for both ladies and gentlemen, beach wears, sport wears, pure leather shoes for men, quality belts, bags, heels for our beautiful ladies, original perfumes, accessories, and a lot more. Find us at Kololini Road opposite Gaddafi Mosque at the Aqua Bridge Station, or call us on 295-3411 or 764-2486. Miss B Designer Outlet. Shop right, look good.